Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Hello. Hello, hello. We are working on nav meshes, trying to understand a bit better how the system works and figuring out if we can have a hybrid system, which basically means a static mesh plus some additional dynamic meshes where we want, right? So we don't want to regenerate everything every time, but we just want to add our stuff, right? So we want a static plus dynamic. And you may say, why the hell you want that? You could just turn on dynamic. True. By turning on dynamic basically means that everything that moves in the game is kind of having an effect on the static mesh, on the nav mesh, right? And it's getting recalculated runtime every time. I mean, in reality, we didn't really prove that, right? We didn't really prove that with a dynamic system, with a dynamic setting, we are actually going to regenerate everything every time. We didn't really prove that. So I don't know, maybe we should test that better. But for now, we are continuing this reasoning and see if we can get somewhere, right? But now that I think about it, right? Now that I think about it, I don't know if dynamic automatically means regenerating everything every time, right? I think it's regenerating stuff only when geometry is changing, which means can you have an object actually ignore the updates? I don't know. I think as a fallback reasoning, if this doesn't work, we can but I think it would be nice to have someone answer my message, actually. I think it would be very nice, but no one is. I don't think there is a lot of people actually working with nav meshes. I mean, modifying nav meshes or... No one is answering to this. It was a month ago. GG. GG. Okay, so let's continue with our reasoning. Anyway, we are learning about the nav mesh system, how it works, and it's anyway good information, right? So it's not that we are wasting our time completely, but we will have to put an end to this. I mean, I will have to move on, and probably today is the last day. Unless we are getting some results, I think that today may be the last day. I don't know, but we are close. We are close to call it a day. Let me change the music. Okay. It's a long time I don't add new music. True. I will. I wanted to add the Baldur's Gate music. I think that there is good one. I will just have to understand a bit more if it's blocked or not blocked. Okay. Let's not get distracted by other stuff. Okay, so our test is the following. We start... and then we reach the create tile generator. The create tile generator is actually the one that is taking the dirty areas, and I don't remember if in our case we get the proper dirty areas. So this is the first thing we're gonna test. We're gonna check if in our case do we actually get proper dirty areas to regenerate or not, right? We will see. I don't even know how big this oak tree is in memory. Construct tile generator instead of construct. Huh? There is a there is a typo in this class name, in this method name. Hello everyone. Yeah, I understand that these streams are a bit heavy to follow. I mean, they're not very, you know, light and funny streams. I understand that. Let me disable everything for now. So at the moment we are in dynamic mode, right? Yep. And we have our code, right? And we want to understand why, right? We want to understand why You know what I'm thinking? But anyway, I'm thinking to a B plan. I'm thinking to a B plan. And the B plan may actually work now that I think about it. Okay, but let's continue with this a second. So we have this. We have everything disabled, right? And then we go here and we enable everything, right? And now we G, right? Then we let it go. We change this flag override to 1. Okay, fantastic. Why it happened twice? That's very weird. So here we add our element to the Oct3. So here we have our dirty element, right? With our flag override 1. So this is the element that I think we should get, right? In the second part of the code, right? Because dirty controller add area. So in theory should go inside of this, right? I think so. So after that, after having executed that, right? Right? Exactly. So we have dirty area number 1. So actually the new dirty area is added here. And then let me just check 1 second where we are. Rebuild dirty areas. Mark dirty tiles. Did we add anything else to do manually or no? I don't think so, eh? Because this was going as usual, right? Yeah, so we can let it go. Pending dirty tiles. So we are adding this element, right, as yeah, 3.0. So in the area 3.0 we are adding, but we are not actually adding a dirty area, we are adding pending dirty tile. So we're doing something slightly different now. Pending dirty tile. So we are populating that structure, right? We are populating this structure, this pending dirty tile. But is this then getting added to dirty tiles? Actually, we have all 4 tiles flagged as dirty. Problem is that we don't have any geometry. So this pending dirty tiles, right, is 3-0, right? Dirty areas empty, rebuild geometry true. But they are all rebuild geometry actually. They are all rebuild geometry true, right? It's just weird that we don't have a dirty area loaded because I was expecting my box to actually trigger the... But anyway. Okay. I mean, it's doing something slightly different to what I was expecting, but fine. Yeah, because you see that here dirty area is also false. So there is actually nothing to... I think it's actually inside his setup. I think it's actually here. Exactly. But dirty area is still empty, which is what I don't understand. Is dirty area empty also in the other case or no? Let me try it because I don't want to chase something that is not. I don't want to chase something that is actually... Yeah, let me go dynamic without this part, right? Dynamic without this part. No, fuck. Now we are in the standard case where everything is reloaded. So we just let it go until we reach the constructor. Yeah, here. So, do we have dirty areas? No, dirty areas is empty as well. It is 2-0 though, huh? Okay. There is 2-0. Calculate tile. Geometry changed. No, this will be skipped. Gather geometry. We actually have a parent. Right. I can remove this, guys. Probably these are automatic watches I cannot remove. But anyway. What? I don't understand. Yeah, row geometry at the moment is empty. Right, but after this, I think probably will not be empty. Yeah, exactly. So after this, we have geometry also in our 2-0. So it's kind of working anyway, right? Yeah. This is our tile 3, 0, and actually has 2 elements. And then pretty much here we are done because we generated yeah, we generated all the geometry, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay, now 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 this is our case, right? This is our case. In our case, I need to just override this temporarily, right? And then I don't know why we are going through twice, but we are. So I'm going to override it twice. Right? Going to override it twice. Then everything else we let it go. I only want to see when we reach here. Okay, so when we reach here, we don't have any dirty areas, but it's the same, right, in the other example. So we want to see if we reach this. This is what we want to see. This seems to be identical. This seems to be identical. Yeah, we actually reach it. We actually reach it. Ha! But the difference is that when we execute this, we get out empty. So for some reason, this gather geometry... Do we have a parent or no? Parent generator? Yeah, we have a parent. We have a parent? No, it's completely null. Maybe that's the problem, huh? Our parent generator... Our parent generator seems to be empty. What the hell? I'm pressing F10, it's not going forward. Why? Huh? I'm pressing F10, it's not going forward. What the fuck? What is happening? What the fuck? I'm pressing F5, right, to continue, but it's not continuing. It's going back to the same... Is this a debug bug or what? Or is this exception that is getting thrown? But why I cannot click it? If we have an exception, why I cannot click it? Or why I don't see it as an exception? But it's possible because maybe my because my parent generator probably is null, right? And it's trying to do a parent generator get world, and it is actually not. No, even if here it is valid. Here parent generator seems to be valid. Yeah, but we don't proceed, right? So I don't understand what is the... What happened, bro? Does it mean that we have an exception there or what? I don't get what it's doing. Here we see the exception now. But it is because we didn't get the navigation system. I don't know, everything fucked up. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Everything fucked up. I don't understand what happened. It may be that the parent object is actually invalid. Might be. I mean, it's true that we are forcing the engine to do something that it's not willing to do, right? So I understand that. I didn't override, probably. What? What? Huh? Breakpoints are not triggering anymore? What is going on? Okay. Okay, now seems to be good again. I don't know, he had a moment where he was executing different code, which is kind of strange. It was like very, very strange. Okay, so here parent generator is actually valid, right? Parent generator looks valid. This looks all good. Where was the... ah, there. I think we can go up to there. Yeah, exactly. Now inside of this, huh? Why I cannot see navigation system? Already processed. But anyway, our navoc 3 is valid, right? So that is actually working as expected. Now let me see if he's trying to get the geometry from the previous find elements with bounds test, right? Yeah, the problem is that here he's trying to find within the navigation OC3, right? And the navigation OC3 at this point is having only our guy, right? There is only one node actually, right? Which is the guy that we added manually. So he's trying to find the elements within those bounds. Okay. And actually is not finding anything. Oh yeah. Do 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 do. Yeah, so I think the problem here is that he's trying to find in our navigation of 3 which kind of elements, right, are part of the... So he's trying to understand... This function will traverse the Oct tree using a fast box-box intersection. This should be the preferred way of traversing the tree. The bound to test if a node is traversed or skipped. Function to call each element for node that passed the bounds test. So I think at this point... So when he's navigating here, he can basically... So yeah, so the point is that he's trying to find the nodes inside the tree, the Navok tree. That are corresponding to... And he's not finding it, right? He's not finding it. Three nodes, we only have one. Inclusive num element. I would like to understand why we don't find that geometry, right? Because in reality, we have a bit of a geometry, which is the new element. I mean, it's true that we don't have the other geometry that already exists. Agreed. We don't have that in the 3 node, right? It's kind of annoying. In the 3 node, we only have one element, which is the one that we added. And it seems that this function is somehow not able to retrieve it. Right? It's always saying that, but it's strange though, because num elements is actually current index 0 inclusive num element 1, so in theory it should enter here, no? Yeah, actually it does. He's trying to intersect the element with the bounding box of the tile. And actually, it does. What is this funk? Huh? What is this funk? Ah, is this funk? Okay. So after here, he actually arrives properly. So he has the navigation system. He has the element data. He has, it looks like he has everything, but then he returns an empty result, right? He's pending lazy geometry gathering. He's keeping all of this. He skipped all of this. I don't know why, but he skipped basically this wall block. He completely skipped this block. He completely skipped this block. And he ends up here. And so this results basically in a null. Right? And then it's going to generate another tile. Yep. Skipping the world thing. It's basically skipping the world thing. Fuck. It's skipping the world thing. Okay, I think I understand better what it does. It's not a matter of dirty areas, but it's a matter of... Okay, so let me see if we go like this again, right? So that we are in the default position. I want to see what is the difference in what? fuck is this is doing? Don't understand what it's doing. If I enable the breakpoints, why is huh? Because it's full dynamic and so is why is going here? He's executing code that he should not execute, I guess. Find lights that affect the primitive in the scene light octree. Holy shit. He's trying to recalculate lights based on the octree visibility. Interesting. Yeah, so we need to disable this guy, I guess. Because this part is used also by... Interesting. Is used also by dynamic lights, I guess. Wow. Okay. I want to see what happens now. What the fuck is doing? It seems that there is a separate process that as soon as I enable this, is basically running continuously. Because we hit anything else. Okay, here we are. Here we are. So there is the standard run. And we will hit this, yes. And here, okay, here we are. Here we are in the same point, but now we are in the default mode, right? So... So where we were failing was... Fuck, I'm a bit lost. We were inside this function 100%, right? And I think we were inside this function as well, right? 100%. Yes, we were here. So I think we can go. I mean, we can execute... which by the way is recursive, is the same function. But so the intersect... Yeah, 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 here we are. Sorry, we were here actually. Okay, we were here. We were here. So here is collecting geometry. Is keeping that, is keeping this. But let me see if it's keeping huh. But you see, it's not skipping this. It's not skipping this. So we basically enter into this one. Element data as geometry is actually returning true, and geometry change is returning true, and we go inside of this. While in our case, right, element data so basically what he's saying is that this element data does not contain geometry. Or anyway, it doesn't contain the geometry that he wants. Because in his case is actually working, in our case is not working. So the additional step that we can document, right, is that, yeah, down here is trying to rebuild this, is trying to gather geometry, but this gather geometry, you know, this gather geometry is empty for us. That's the current issue we have, boys. That this method is actually giving an empty result. I mean, we can track why. My feeling is that is reading that from the navigation octree, right? So he wants the navigation octree to actually be valid. I mean, in the navigation octree we have our added piece, but it seems to be not enough, right? Seems to be not enough. Because we are getting the element, from here, right? Because it is doing find element with bound test is inside the navigation octree. So what it looks like is that it requires the navigation octree to have the data. I mean, what do we know? What do we know from the navigation octree is that we have because here is adding geometry, right? So he added, you see, there's added geometry. There's added the geometry. Don't know exactly where it's doing the recalculation, but probably we don't care too much. It's one of these functions that is actually creating the... I mean, it's probably this. It's probably this append and validate geometry, right? It's probably, yeah, append geometry. So it's probably, here is probably creating, you know... Here is creating the raw geometry to attach. I really don't understand why, though, in our case, that's empty, because we have the geometry. $36. Yes, 36 elements in it. I think we reached the point where the complexity is a bit too much, right? Because I think we reached the point where the complexity is a bit too much, unfortunately. It's not reaching that point anymore. It's basically rebuilding everything. Yeah. I will do one more test, which is but I understand that we are very deep, and it seems the navigation OC3 is used anyway, right? And in our case, the navigation OC3 is not populated. It's populated only with the additional item. which is probably what is causing the problem. I want to do one more test. To do one more test. Yeah, so basically here. No, after this, after this, after this, after this, after this. Yes, here. I would like to see this element actually. How do I see? Because we don't even arrive here, right? We don't arrive in gather navigation data geometry, it looks like. I think we don't. We always pass through this gather geometry, which is good, but it's not enough to actually complete the work. Because we need to go inside of this, right? This is where we need to be. Okay. So now if we are here. Okay. This is where I want it to be. So can I see element? I need element. What do you mean already processed, bro? Should use geometry delegate. Because this is what is fucking us up, right? That should use geometry delegate. I mean, this part I don't understand. I don't understand what the code is doing. But it's basically gather navigation data geometry. Bro, why I cannot see this freaking element guy? Is here, we are passing it through. Why I cannot see it? Already processed. Warning stop in the C++ method, but this isn't available. Pretending we are in a generic context error use of the clarifying element. That's very annoying. Why I cannot... Okay, this is my element. Okay, this is my element, right? And I have my bounds and my shit. Because this is the element that then when we ask element data as geometry is actually bailing out. So this is the point where we cannot add geometry to our nav mesh because this element is not what we want. Right? Because it is getting skipped also in the default case, but it's here that the default case enters into this. So basically here export geometry is true. This as geometry is returning voxel data and collision data. Is returning voxel data and or collision data. And this is where our element is empty, but the other element is not. You see that here we have collision data empty and voxel data empty. And actually we were going here, but now in our case we will skip everything, right? You see, we skipped it fully. And we skipped it fully because in this element we don't have any geometry of any kind. So in theory I could disable... I don't even need these other breakpoints actually. The only breakpoint, and I don't even need this one. I think the only breakpoint that I really need, well, this one is a good one, we can keep it. But the only breakpoint that I really need is this. Because it's the one that is actually doing the check. You see, and it's keeping it completely. It's keeping it completely. So here is the deal breaker, right? That one is the deal breaker. Fuck. I think this thing is too deep for me. But at least we understand roughly what is going on. So in this case, right, I think we reached the bottom of our reasoning. We reached the place where everything... Yeah, I need to disable this. So that is the standard case. That is the standard case. Let me see. Okay, here it is. Right. Yes. Yes. So in the standard case, the element inside the navOC3 actually has collision data. In our case, it doesn't. Yes, collision data. In our case, it doesn't. So I guess the question is, who is creating this collision data? Who's creating this collision data? Huh? Who is filling in? What does actions mean? Class, I mean, classes is clear, okay, it's the name of the class, okay, fine. But can I search for symbols, I guess. What do we want is symbols. What do you want is symbols? No, I want to know when this thing is actually getting probably text, huh? I have to go text. So the question is in our collision data, right? Structure given by the caller to be filled with 3 mesh collision data. Exactly. Exactly. So it's not in a million places. Personal mesh detail. What is this thing? I don't think it's a personal mesh detail. I don't think it is a personal mesh detail. Static mesh. I mean, it's more. It's easier that it's inside static mesh, right? The setting of the collision data. Collision mesh data. F3 collision mesh data. Load collision data. F collision data. Load data. Collision data. I don't see any place where it's actually setting the shit. I mean, the closest that I can see is like this one, right? But it's inside the static mesh editor view per client, which seems to be a kind of a weird place. I mean, it should be inside static mesh or navigation. Well, inside static mesh, I guess. Yeah, because the question is who is actually because I mean, in our case it's a bit different. In our case it's called what was that? It was called collision data, right? So it was inside element. What? Yeah, exactly. This guy. Collision data. So I want to know who is populating. I want to know who is populating this. Who is populating this field of this particular element? And this element is what? This element is F navigation relevant data. F navigation relevant data. So unless it's a subclass, and so maybe, you know, we don't see it, but someone should, right? F navigation relevant data. So I need to search one or the other pretty much, but it seems that F navigation. I don't see. Wait. As geometry. As navigation. So here is where we are. Now it seems he found more results. I don't know why, but he found more results. Ah, because I didn't say single word. Yeah, that's why. This is why. Yeah, but someone should freaking, no? Someone should fill in this thing, no? I don't understand why not. Exported geometry. Used by recast nav mesh as f recast geometry cache. Yeah, probably there is another. There is probably a subclass of this that is then getting assigned, but I mean the assignment should absolutely be there, right? I mean, it should be in the code somewhere. Well, I don't understand why I don't find it. I mean, I only find it in this personal mesh detail, but it was kind of weird. And I find it in cloth. Maybe I'm not seeing it, but there should be a line where is assigning that, right? Maybe I don't see it. Geometry, return, so this is already done. Get physics 3 mesh data. Model component, maybe this one is returning it as part of this call. Structure given by the caller to be filled with 3 mesh data collision data. Collision data provider, collision data shrink. Collision data is valid, collision data get data. Maybe it's building it here. Collision data UV at 0, vertex initialize. Maybe he's doing it here. I think he's doing it here. Yeah, he's doing it here. He's doing it here. He's here. He's here. He's exactly here. Get physics 3 mesh data. Or at least that's one place where it's done. Model component. Geometry particle. As collision event. I mean, we can add a breakpoint here and see if he's ever called, but this seems to be set collision data shape. It is inside chaos, so I would say no. Skeletal mesh, static mesh. Static mesh, get physics 3 mesh data. So it looks like our entry in the OC3 does not have all the information needed, right? So it's missing the collision data. Basically, this is what is happening, right? So we have the object, but we don't have the object with the collision stuff. And so since it doesn't have collision, it cannot calculate the new nav mesh for our piece, right? So this is basically what is happening. While when we are in dynamic mode, that is actually already there. And why it is already there when we are in dynamic mode? That's a good question. Why I mean, should be part of this, right? Should be part of the register nav OC3 element, but it seems that for whatever reason is not. So here we are, you know, normal, right? Here we are normal. Here we are normal. So, yeah. So there is the registration part, right? Which is actually the early process, right? And in this part, we are registering our item, right, inside the Oak tree, right? And I thought, right, that this registration would create register component to Navok tree, register Navok tree element. Register Navok tree element. Register Navok tree element. So inside this object, do you think that we already have the collision stuff? I have no idea. Element interface. Oh my god, when he's saying already processed, it's making me crazy. Why is saying... Oh no, okay, I can see it, So, can I search inside of this... Where is the collision data of this guy, right? I don't understand how the search works here. So I do collision, then how do I go next? As soon as I... How do I go next? What is this? Search inside, collapsed node. Okay, but how do I go next? Don't understand. How do I go next, bro? Next should be F3, but it's not F3. Because if I do collision and then I say F3, it's doing nothing. Ah! Why? Control Shift Enter to add a watch. No, I don't want to add a watch. I want to search, bro. If I press Enter, it disappears. Anyone knows how to search? Find next F3, yeah. It's not doing it. F3 is not doing it. Fuck. Okay, anyway, the point is that I wanted to, so I don't know if he's already in my, but yeah, but he should be in my octree, because he should be in my octree. But we never find it this way. It was called what? It was called collision data, right? Was it called collision data also inside the mesh, or was it called only collision? When we had that get tree mesh something. The problem is that it doesn't search inside of this, which is super annoying. Because it's probably inside. It's probably somewhere inside static mesh. You know, it's somewhere inside of this. I think. Why F3 is not working? So annoying that F3 is not working. Why? Why you cannot search? Variables, parallel stacks. No, it's under variables, so watch. I need to search. Watch variables. It is a way to search variables while debugging. Is it? Wait. Whenever the breakpoint is a way to search variable panel. You can search variable name, but not the value. So just focus on the panel and search and typing any letters and access at the beginning of the name, like an arrow. Keep in mind searchable, visible, expandable branches only. You will not find entry in parent including collapsed. Uh, 2017, there was a request to search variables in debug. Available in 2018, but I mean, yeah, you can search, but you cannot cycle through results. It's kind of weird. Maybe there is a way, but it's not that intuitive, so I don't understand how to do it. So I search collision, then if I press enter, it disappears. If I do F3, it does nothing. Right? Yeah. And there is this weird box here, evaluate expression or add a watch. Okay, and if I press Ctrl F, it's doing this search, and then you can click on search inside collapsed node. Search inside collapsed node. Okay, so if I go here and I say collision, what is doing? Is it opening any node that has that? No, it doesn't look like. Okay. Can I export everything and then search it separately or no? Oh. Copy value. Nah, if I do copy value, I guess it will not probably copy everything, right? Nah. You're just copying that single guy. What is exactly the collision data? Come on. Okay. Box element. Box element, empty, 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 empty. Box element, empty, 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 empty. So it seems it doesn't have any, that box doesn't have any geometry. That is why I'm starting to lose track of where we are, but yeah, we are inside our, yeah, it is my actor 1C, yeah, it is. It is my actor 1C. It is. So everything is empty. So collision data wise, everything is empty here. Everything is empty. And we are in the default case, right? We are in the default case. Yeah, we're in the default case. So where is he getting? Maybe he's recalculating it somewhere, you know, on the fly. It is getting too deep and too complex. I mean, we are close to understand because this gather geometry, right, is the one that is actually trying to rebuild the nav mesh from the collision data. But for some reason it's not finding that data in the navigation tree, even if we added and register our element there. So it looks like we register it, but it's not enough, or we don't register it the right way, or we don't register it, you know, whatever. So so we don't actually. Because there is the registration, right? And the registration seems to go fine. I cannot search it this way, it's impossible. But basically inside of this, right, like we were looking before, we have no? Yeah, exactly. This part, right? This part is completely empty, but it's empty also in this case, right? Which is the default. So also in the default, this part is completely empty. So it doesn't look like... can we... Wait a second, I have an idea. Can we... Come on, please, let me type. What are you doing? Can we... Did I put a breakpoint here already? Get physics 3 mesh data, right? Collision data. So it is where we are actually assigning yes, I put a breakpoint here, okay. Okay, so let's see if while I run this, we ever reach this breakpoint, right? Because I think at a certain point it must. Unless it's calculated separately. Huh. No, here we are already. Here we are already. So no, we don't touch that. We don't touch that. So we we don't touch that. But now our element, that for whatever reason we cannot really see, but what is our element, boys? Element, error using. I don't understand why error using. Why I cannot see this value? Why? Why I cannot see this freaking value? I need it. I need to see this value. Why I cannot see this element value, huh? Seems I cannot see anything here. Fuck. But should use geometry, right? Should use geometry. Should use geometry for Navoc 3. Should use geometry. Didn't we reach a place where we were seeing that he was checking the collision vertices and shit? I think it was, huh? Nav config. Nav config. nothing. We cannot see. Maybe because we're in static. Maybe because we are in static functions. I don't know. It's possible. But anyway, element should be there actually. Element should be there. Element data should be there, but it's not. But we have seen it before, right? Where we were. Okay, here. When we enter into this, we actually see it. When we enter here, we actually see it. Ah, yes, the S geometry. S geometry was saying, you know, voxel data, collision data, right? But here we are already too far, because here we are at the end of the process where my element data now actually contains collision data, you see? It does. So he has this collision data, right, that is populated. And my question was, who the hell put that information, right, into this element data? Because this element data is actually passed in, yeah, to the function that we cannot debug because it's not giving us any information on it. But pretty much is this find element within bound. So it's searching element in the navigation tree and is actually finding the element, but the addition is that in our case the element is found but there's no collision. In this case he is found and he has collision. So that's the difference. So it's the navigation tree which is actually kind of different, right? So that's the point. Get mutable nav. Yeah, but this part is working because we have this part is working. I don't know why. Please, I need to debug this shit. I see. Okay, so you see in this case, navoc3, right? I mean, it's not very easy to understand what it contains, unfortunately, because it's a bit of a weird structure. But basically the point is that inside of this we already have, yeah, because the three nodes are not visible, so I cannot really look at it this way. At least it seems I cannot. But basically here we already have elements that are that include the collision data. I don't know. I think I'm stuck at the moment. I feel I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I am kind of stuck. Yeah, I am officially stuck. So let's just summarize what we understood. But I think I am stuck. I cannot understand why. So inside a gather, uh, yeah. This is the sequence, right? This is the sequence. This is the sequence. So inside of this, there is a function that says element data as geometry, right? So this guy checks for collision data. It's valid in dynamic. It's empty for us. I mean, in our case, right? It's empty in our case. So this is the current problem that we have. There is the current problem that we have. So it seems that the gather geometry somehow, which by the way, I don't think that the gather geometry is actually doing the work. I think the gather geometry is relying on the OC3 to actually have the geometry in already. I think. I mean, I'm not completely sure. Okay, I think that I'm stuck on this. I want to try another technique that I was thinking before, and the other technique is. So we're gonna dump this for now. We're gonna dump it. The other technique is the following, right? Which is navigation invokers, right? So there is a setting, right, where you can say, and I don't remember where is it, but generate navigation only around navigation invokers. If set to true, navigation will be generated only around registered navigation enforcers. Okay, GG.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another map. So what we're going to be covering today is how to set it up and what it is as well. So you'll notice I press P to show where the navigation can go, and it's only in this radius around the player. So if an AI is this close to the player, they will be able to move. If they're not around the player, they won't be able to move. And as the player moves, this is also going to update in real time as well, so the AI will be able to move in different areas around the player too. As the player is moving, you notice as I get further away, they can't do it, and as I get closer to other ones, they can perfectly, like so. If I move all the way over here, you notice we now have it here, like so. And again, this is much more efficient, so instead of having the whole map rendering navigation and being able to move at once, it means only this small area around the player, which we can make as big or as small as we want, processed, which is a lot better on this is amazing for what you've got. Camera all the way up here, just if I were to continue walking to the right, the AI in the middle will stop moving, and the AI on the right will be able to move. As you can see, that stopped, this will stop, and I've made this.
I understand the concept.
So this is actually incredibly easy to set up and to customize. So the first thing we need to do is we need to change some of our project settings. So we're going to go to Edit, Project Settings. On the left, we're going to scroll down until we find Navigation Mesh, and we're going to change two things in here. Firstly, we want to scroll down until we find Runtime Generation, and that is under Runtime. So you can also just search for it up at the top. Runtime generation.
Yeah, but if you're setting dynamic, bro, we are back to the same problem.
Dynamic, which obviously means we'll be able to generate navigation mesh at runtime.
I mean, if we're setting dynamic, we are back to the same issue, right?
Invoker, we can change generate navigation only around navigation invokers, and we're going to tick that so it is true. So again, the AI can only move around this certain location.
So my problem is, you know, that I want to keep the static navigation and I want to add on top something dynamic. So that's my problem, because okay, this guy is saying, it's easy, you just turn everything dynamic. Yeah, you turn everything dynamic, so now my 20 by 20 kilometers world with like 5 layers needs to be recalculated fully, right? And it's a mess. It is a mess. So there is a possibility, but I mean, unless you know the engine is smart enough, but I don't think so, to say, right, oh, you already have an area with navigation, right, which is this one, which is actually static, and I don't recalculate it. But how do we know that it's actually not recalculating the shit, man? How do we know it? Because if well, we can see it from the log. We have a log verbose nav mesh, right? But if I switch to dynamic, the problem is that if I am dynamic, so look at how much stuff he actually did, right? Look at how much stuff it actually did in dynamics. So he basically rebuilt it all. I mean, he seems to have a cache, but So the second time I executed, right? Is that any better, or is redoing the world shit? Is redoing the world shit, you're saying? So if you are in dynamic anyway, it's regenerating everything all the time. And there is a problem, because it means that with a very large world, when you start the server the first time, you know, you will get a hit of... I mean, at the moment, generating the static mesh, it takes about 15 minutes, so... I cannot wait 15 minutes that my world goes up. Right? So in theory, what I need a static plus. I mean, invokers is a good thing, but it's not enough. Should we write an email? To this guy? We can try. I need someone with deep knowledge of this thing. Or this guy. You know? These are people that actually worked on this class, which is the recast mesh generator, so these people know exactly what they are doing. The problem is that you cannot really contact them through GitHub, right? I don't think so. Can you? Can you send a message to a GitHub user? How to leave a message to a GitHub user 2012? Well, is there anything a bit more recent than that? You cannot send a direct private message to another user. You cannot send a private message. Alternative ways to communicate through their open source project. If you have one, you could open an issue and ask a question. Yeah, GG. Fuck. Fuck. Okay. I mean, I can try, I can continue, but I feel that it's a bit too hard, right? Because now, I mean, I think we passed pretty much all the checks. We arrived here. We now have to regenerate the geometry, but our nav 3 does not have that geometry available, so the collision data is missing. Why it is missing? It is missing because maybe it's been generated up front. Possible. But the fact is that we don't control, right, the way let me think about it. Let me think about it. So the two tests are with my Navoc 3 and with the default Navoc 3, right? And with my Navoc 3, And that is before, right? That is before my elements get added. Before my elements get spawned. Then my elements get spawned. I mean, this guy should have, right? This guy should have, I mean, I can try to see if, I mean, this guy should have collision, right? Maybe this guy does not have collision, but he works in the, yeah, he works with the default, so. It works with the default. Hey, it's block all. Is block all is using this mesh. This mesh is, I mean, this mesh for sure has collision. I mean, we can check, but show simple collision. You see, he has simple collision. And show complex collision. Yeah, actually, it seems to be identical. I mean, I can add. I can add. Add box simplified collision. Add box simplified collision. Okay. Let's say that we add a specific box with simplified okay, so what happens now? Okay. Press the wrong button. Right, so, okay, and here we are in full dynamic, right? Here we are in full dynamic. Yeah. It's not generating it. And I think that is the same. I mean, yeah, I'm not overriding the shit and everything. So I need to actually, if you want to do a real test, right, we need to re-enable all the breakpoints and all of that. But yeah, there is one, there is this one, I guess. There is one we need to. No? Okay. Come on. So we can still go through it again, right? Now that I have the, but I don't think it's changing anything. I don't think that having. I mean, we can try. But I don't think that having an explicit collision box will make a big difference. It is a tough problem, guys. It's a tough problem. It's named Making the Impossible because basically I already knew that it was not possible. But, or anyway, there were very, very few chances. It seems that the code is not designed, you know, to allow you to do this. Okay, so we are depending tiles. Okay, here we are inside gather geometry, right? And this is where we have a bit of an issue navigating the Occ3 and seeing the thing, because this is not very user friendly on the finding element. On this function, right, this find element is not very friendly the way it is written. And so basically this function has been declared in line inside of this, right? And so also the debugger, I think, is getting a bit confused about it. But yeah. Element data. Yeah, you see, collision data is empty. So yeah, that is our problem. I can take a screenshot and put it in our... I can put it here. I mean, if you want to contact one of those guys... The problem is that they don't have... Let me see if they have... Let me see if I can contact them somewhere in another way. I don't think so. Okay, let's try to forge an email that actually makes sense, and then we see who to send it to. Okay, let's try to forge an email, right? So the email will be something like, greetings. Do you like greetings? I see you are part... I see you did some changes on the navigation mesh, on the navigation mesh system in Unreal. I'm actually trying to understand if I can have a hybrid nav mesh system, which is static for the most part and dynamic, just for, so let's say static for the main world areas and dynamic only for the procedurally generated parts. Our world is large. Our world is large using word composition, right? Using word composition, and as multiple as 90. I think it's like 60 plus levels, you know, and each have multiple layers, right? Enabling full dynamic, enabling. So all this is static and doesn't change, at runtime. In addition, we are adding one single level where we generate a dungeon dynamically, right? Dynamically. In addition, we are adding one single level physically, or let's say, yeah, physically separated from the rest of the world, where we generate a dungeon dynamically, right? The player gets teleported to this area. So I say this because I basically don't want to say that there is any kind of connection, right? So it's completely separate. So this area has NPCs that are moving. They shouldn't be able to move using the navigation system, right? Using the navigation system. Now, okay, so what I did, So I started the current Unreal Engine navigation system, debugging through it. So what I want to say is that we actually managed, right, to do quite a bit, but it's not enough. So I created a simple I can also ship the project in case. Simple project based on third person. I created a simple project. Just to test this part. So the project is set to nav mesh. The project is set to nav mesh. Yeah, I think I need someone to help me on this because I'm kind of stuck. I mean, I'm not stuck, but I feel that one level deeper will take me like 20 hours or 30 hours. So we're not going to get any results in a very long time. So, which is a problem, right? So runtime generation, right? Set to runtime generation equal to static, right? Equal to static, and then when I press a key, it's adding a new, right? Is adding a new simple box, right? A new static mesh. As a new floor. It's a simple box, right? It's a simple box. Now, to force the engine to dynamically consider that new box, right? To force the engine to dynamically consider to generate the nav mesh for the new box, I did the following, right? So one, before I spawn, I call this. Before I spawn, I do this. Right? This allows the before I spawn my new object, let's say before I spawn my new object, I do this, blah 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 blah. This allows me to have an occ3, even if empty, right? And a generator, right? So basically what we are creating there, we are creating a navoc3, right? Yeah. So allows me to have an navoc3, even if empty, and Conditional constructor. Wait. I don't remember the name of the shit, but it's nav data generator, right? And the nav data generator, which is used later, I mean, which is used by Unreal Engine, to generate the new tile, right? The new tile, right? There is one. Two, I have to manually flag. So the change that we do, we flag, what do we flag? We flag, I have to launch it again because I don't recall exactly the name of the thingy. I don't remember exactly the name of the thing. So we flag, yeah, exactly. We manually flag the F navigation dirty element inside I manually flag the update element I manually flag this as flags override. And we set it to flags override. Yeah, the problem is that we don't have No, it was not this. It was called something like default geometry. You remember? I don't know where we found it, but we found. Where did we find that? But only here. Get dirty. Wait here. The get dirty flag helper. Yes, exactly. Exactly. This thing. Geometry. Yep. So we flag instead of navigation and legitimate manually flag it, blah 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 blah. Updated geometry, right? I don't know if we can flag it more than that. Should we try to flag it more than this? Because we can set it to geometry, which is a full update, right? Yeah, I think it is the strongest because it's regenerating everything. So geometry. which seems to be required to actually process, right? Process our spawned box, right? And then, I mean, after that, we don't do anything else, right? Everything else is pretty much okay, right? And then I will have to add this picture. And I will have to say, and I can say, oh, I followed all this structure. So I have, you know, so the problem I have now is inside gather navigation data geometry. Is inside the gather navigation data geometry, exactly. Is inside this thing. Now geometry, because for some reason my box doesn't have, right, doesn't have, my box doesn't have what? My box doesn't have, I think we have it in the picture. Doesn't have collision data. So element data is geometry. Line 2020. So at line 2020, as geometry fails, as there is no, so as geometry fails, as there is no collision data. As there is no collision data, right? While when I'm in full dynamic, right? When I'm in full dynamic, this as geometry, and the new box gets properly added. Hello, Jan Luis. Hey. Do you think I can? Never give up? Okay. I mean, never give up is good, but you should choose your battles, right? There are many battles you can fight, and you have to decide which one you want to fight. Because if you're fighting the wrong battle, you know, it's gonna take you forever, and then the result is so-so. So I totally agree with never give up, but I don't know if this is a battle I want to fight. I went already fairly deep, and we analyzed pretty much everything. So we know exactly why it's failing, but we don't have a fix. And to create a fix, I think it will take a lot of time. So I'm thinking maybe I should send an email and see if someone is, you know, willing to help or to gets properly in the new tile, gets properly regenerated in the tile, not a new tile. Tile gets probably regenerated with the spawn box as well, right? Yeah. It is a picture of all the calls I have debugged and followed through and follow to reach the current state, right? To reach the current state. I can say I would like to know if the path I'm following, yeah. At the moment I'm stuck, let's say. At the moment I'm stuck because I cannot trace back why the collision data, right? Why the collision data is not available in the OC3, is not available in the nav OC3, is not available in the nav OC3 for my box, right? For my new box, for my spawn box. So I thought to write to you. I would like to know if the path I'm following is even possible, right? Yeah, I would like to know if the path I'm following is possible, or if there are other alternatives, right? In general, will be great to have a way, you know, to flag a level for dynamic generation, because at the end it is the request, right? So the request is if we could flag a level for dynamic nav mesh generation in another level for static, that would be fantastic, right? In general, it would be great to have a way to flag a level for dynamic generation while the rest of the world is static generation, right? And this is actually what I wanted to do. So I think I wanted to do this, right? So when so this was my plan. This is my plan, right? It is my plan. So when I spawn the new pieces of the procedural dungeon, I check if I'm inside, you know, inside that level, and if yes, I do what? Because this will actually work across any level, right? Yeah, because what I did actually is still. I mean, it will work for every new item spawned everywhere in the world, which is actually not what we want. But we could do a check, you know, and. But then how do I disable it? Oh fuck! And then I don't know. You can give the link to your tries. Yeah, I can send the project. I can say that I can send the project if you want. But I think that this guy doesn't need a project, right? This guy knows exactly where he doesn't need a project. He doesn't need a project. He can reproduce the project in 1 second, so. But yes, in case I can send it. To dynamically generate the nav mesh, right? For those pieces. Navigation invokers are not a solution for me because it requires to switch. Because those requires to switch the runtime generation to dynamic. To switch the runtime generation to dynamic, right? I will be, let's say, I will be grateful if you could answer. You know what we can do? Instead of writing to that guy, which is away, I'm thinking if I go on Epic Games, right, and I search. I mean, if I go not these Epic Games, if I go in a real engine. Shit. If I go in a real engine and I go into learning, right? And then I go into course and tutorials, right? And then I search navigation mesh, right? Or navigation. Navigation is enough, right? Maybe AI navigation. Nah, this is not what I wanted. Because this guy is searching across everywhere, but I wanted to search only inside learning. Only inside learning. Community, learning, course. I only want courses. Nah, but you see, there is not even a training for it, right? Because the thing is too deep, right? There is not even a train. No, because sometimes, you know, when you have the learnings, the guy's saying, "Oh, if you want to contact me, if you want to know more about this, you know, you can do that. You can, you know, contact me." So if we take, I don't know, one random video.
Hello and welcome to Begin Play, an Unreal Engine onboarding for developers around advanced functioning web.
Like at the end, maybe they say
3D overall resource usage. This concludes the overview of the audio system. Thanks for watching and feel free to reach out if you have any questions.
It says feel free to reach out if you have any questions, but then it doesn't give you any pointers, right? Can you write to this guy? I mean, how do you even you cannot, right? You cannot write to this guy. Maybe you can write a mail. If I take this at this guy and I go, wait a second, because usually when I open that, it's like doing a bunch of stuff they should not do. No, I cannot write a mail. Notifications. I'm searching if there is a way to but I don't see that. No, I think it's done by purpose that you cannot really bother people, you know. unfortunately. Yeah, so even if you want, you cannot write to this guy. I mean, they're saying please feel free to reach out, but where the hell do you reach out, right? So I think that the only solution is what? Okay, so I think I will write a new mail. And I will put this text, right? So I would be grateful if you could answer or give me some indications on how to proceed. The issue is that our new procedurally generated dungeon has monsters that cannot move, right? So I will copy this. I think this mail is pretty good. I mean, he has all we need, right? I will just add in addition the picture, because I think this picture is pretty good picture. And I think I have to remove this because actually this screenshot is related to this. This screenshot is related to this. Right? So collision data is empty. I don't know, we can try this way, guys, but at least we understood kind of the problem, but wow, it's pretty big. Okay, in terms of who we are writing to, I think we should try. What was that? Who did the most changes here? So this guy did remove unnecessary calls to navigation system, get beauty block 3 accessor. So definitely this guy should understand well how it, I mean, he did a fairly important change. This guy did another very important change, I would say, because he changed the way I think those are the two names that actually show up here. There are not many other names. Okay, let's try. Bum 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 bum. We're gonna try, boys. I'm gonna send it. Let's see if we receive an immediate response that the address is not valid. Because obviously we are guessing the email, right? We are guessing the email, so it may be not existing. It may be not existing, boys. I'm sending it now. I'm sending it now. I mean, I'm sorry for the direct ping, but if they don't want it, they can just delete it. I mean, it's not a big deal. If they cannot help, they can just delete the email and GG. GG! Yeah, I put this picture at the end of the email. It's a super big picture, but it's fine. Okay, the other guy was who? The other guy was this guy. Maybe both are not. Maybe both are not. Are not available, do not exist, or whatever. It's very possible. It's very possible. Okay, I sent it out, guys. Let's see if we receive the email not existing. And if these guys, I mean, they did changes to this like 10 months ago, which is actually the last time this thing has been modified, because inside nav mesh we have a very few changes recently, right? So the last changes were like seven months ago. So they are not really working on this. I mean, assuming that I'm looking at, yeah, I'm looking at release. Now I could check, what is the dev branch? The dev branch is, nah, but I think a release is the best one. Because I could go, I don't know, 5.4, right? But if I go, so I wasn't released, right? If I go 5.4, right? And I go, where was that? Source runtime navigation system. Source runtime navigation system, private source runtime navigation system, private nav mesh, right? 3 weeks ago. Huh. Someone changed it last week. Are these the same guys that we spoke with, or Vincent? Is the same Vincent that we know? I don't know. Seems to be different people. Very different people. Fuck. Completely different names. There is so many different people working on this. It's like 6 or 7 different names. Right? I didn't get the email back saying that the address is invalid, so okay guys, I don't know. I think I will park this I don't know who's pinging me continuously, but anyway. I think I will park this this problem. I will park this problem. I will wait for some answers, and I don't know if I have more willingness to go into this, and maybe. But I think I would like to release at least the first version of the dungeon generation, right, to the game, so that we have something new and also something that we can play with, even if the monsters are not moving. We could do a test of having everything dynamic, but I think having everything dynamic, I mean, we can do it now, right? We can see what happens if I switch everything dynamic, right? Because obviously everything dynamic will work. But I think given the size of the world, I think would be a very, very, very bad idea. But we can try. What the fuck? Oh, wait a sec.
I have your brain scanned and permanently backed up in case something terrible happens to you, which it's just about to.
What is going to happen? Hello, Jean. So, the summary, Jean, is that we went deeper and deeper, and we reached a point where, which is this, where basically Unreal Engine is trying to recreate the tile for that particular part of the nav mesh, right? and is checking for the collision data of is checking for the collision data inside that element tile. And if everything is dynamic, that collision data actually has stuff. If we are not dynamic but we are static, that is actually empty, right? It is actually empty. So I try to trace back and understand why is empty and when it's generated, but it was a bit too complex, and so I kind of lost into the thing. So I created an email explaining, you know, the problem, and I sent it out to 2 people that worked on the nav mesh in the last 10 months or so, right? I just randomly selected the people from the... I mean, there are many more actually. So I see that if I go, because I was on the release branch, but if I go on the 5.4 branch, there are people that are working it right now. Like there is a guy that did a change last week, right? And so I don't know, maybe these guys will answer that is not possible, or it will be possible in next releases. I think, to me, you know, the final request that I have, right? The final request that I have is this, right? Is I have my world, right? And I say that it is my world, right? And my world is separated into levels, and these are my levels, right? And basically what I want to say, I mean, it can be levels or can be nav mesh bounds, is the same, right? But let's say levels for simplicity. And basically what I want to be able to say is that this one is static, and so it's calculated one time, right? At the beginning, this one is static, and this one is dynamic, right? So if we could say this to the engine, so to say this part, this level is static, this level is dynamic, or even this nav mesh bound is static, this nav mesh bound is dynamic, then I think would be perfect. Because here you can have, you know, 1 million kilometers of land, right? And here maybe you have just, you know, your 100 meters by 100 meters generated dungeon, right? And so you just flag this as dynamic. I think it's a very reasonable requirement, right? It's a very reasonable requirement. I don't know why they didn't do it yet. I have no idea. I have no idea why you have the generation all static or all dynamic. I don't get it. Maybe it's simpler like that, I don't know, but they created a very complex system. And I have a question for you, Gian. When you are in debug mode, right? How do you search in the variables? Because in the variables now I'm not in debug mode, but anyway, let me see if I can. There is the variables panel at the bottom. I can Control F and I can actually search, but then I cannot go next. I cannot F3, right? F3 doesn't work there. So I don't know why. But you were saying that probably you were still using Visual Studio, so actually, or no, I don't remember. Yeah, we had a lot of breakpoints, but I think we did a good. At the end, I think we did a good thing. I mean, we understood a lot of the system. I think it was a good try. I think we had a chance that it was actually working. If the collision data, I only debug on VS. Okay. Okay. If that collision data was actually present, I think this thing may have worked. But I'm not giving up forever on this, okay? I'm not giving up forever. I'm just saying that maybe. What? MIDI component? You crazy? Huh? Why? Why is not building anymore? Our project is not building anymore? What the hell is going on? You mostly use VS? Yeah, but Rider is so nice. Rider is so insanely nice. I mean, at least jumping between different files is so much better. So much better. Searching globally through Unreal Engine sources is so much better. What the fuck? Why is not finding MIDI component now? What is going on? You stupid or what? Is there another error before that is preventing? What is the last thing that I... pscharacter.h? What is the last thing that we were doing? Because maybe there is an error somewhere else and it's actually not reporting it properly. Which sometimes it happens. pscharacter.h. Diff later. No, diff later. Diff now. What do you mean diff later? Because it's already checked in. No. So I checked in something not compiling. Really? I don't think so. What is going on? Hello, Andrew Sovetskin. Hey, thank you for joining and for watching the stream. Actually, why this breakpoint is not going away? If I click X, nothing is going away. Interesting. Did Rider just went crazy or what? Should I just close it and open it again? Like, you know, maybe. Okay, so you have maybe extensions that allow, you know, with the reshaper is probably better. Okay. Yeah, but it is integrated, so. Okay, let's see why the hell is not compiling anymore. Why is not? It's saying that the MIDI file. So it's like if we messed up the build file. I mean, it's possible, but kind of unlikely. But like I messed up the build file. Like I added navigation and I didn't close a quote or something. I don't think so. I mean, MIDI is here and MIDI asset is here. Succeeded. Aha! Succeeded. So it was just a moment of confusion, but it actually worked. Fantastic. Okay. GG. GG. So every single day when I go live, I get at least 3 or 4. What? You stupid one. Huh? What do you mean it's compiled with another version of the engine? Bro. Huh? Is Ryder creating a separate executable or something? Huh? Bro, he said successful a second ago. And now he's saying again that it is not working? Why? You know what? Delete intermediate and fuck it. You know what? Take this. Take that. Delete intermediate easy life. You might have changed by mistake. Yeah, it's possible, but it's strange because I committed the code, right? When I commit the code, usually I'm at the end of... Cannot run PS Unreal on default? I mean, what do you mean you cannot run? You have to compile it first, my friend. Ah, because if you have 5, he's saying that it's not compiled. Okay, I mean, okay, fine. SVN diff. Error in PS character. I don't think so. I mean, okay, but... So by mistake I added something and then I... Okay. God. The problem is that this was the refactoring that we did, so there may be a lot of changes. There is an unsigned int. Now that's it. The last one is this. Now I can go deeper than that. Build failed. Oh my god, a build failed, bro. What the hell you want? Actually, I removed this. Actually, I removed this. I don't know if that's needed, but it should, because he told me that it was not needed. I can put it back again. There was what? Can I save it? GG. So Ryder is locking the files. Okay. Fine. GG, bro. Yeah, I deleted. Why he said build succeeded before? I mean, we have it recorded on the stream, right? He said succeeded at a certain point when I relaunched it, but anyway. Check the output log. Yeah, we can see if there are any other errors in the log. Yeah, I mean, because there are errors maybe before, you know that. But if there are errors before, they should still appear in the error list, no? So, I don't understand what is going on. What the hell is going on in this life? So the log, well, is bailing out very early. Is bailing out very early. Admin manager. What about admin manager? Warning. Well, this is only a warning, but class is a virtual function, but it's non-trivial. The structure is not virtual. Okay, make it virtual, my friend. Huh? Why this guy is not? In this case, he's not concerned about it. Why this thing is missing? Is missing a what? Huh? Is missing a semicolon. What? Huh? Maybe it was that. Why have a virtual with nothing in it? Oh no, anyway. It's fine. What is the syntax error PS character 3069? I think he was saying that MIDI file was not found. MIDI something. It's not found. You know, because you can play music in the game with MIDI. You didn't know that, huh? Or maybe you knew. But anyway, I really enjoy 3069. Yeah, the error is that MIDI component is not found, right? So it's not recognizing MIDI component. But how we cannot recognize MIDI component is inside. I don't remember where is it. I'm not touching it since like 10 years. But yeah, it's here. It's inside plugin, source, MIDI, right? Classes, something. MIDI. It's here somewhere. I don't know where, but it's here somewhere. MIDI event, MIDI thingy. MIDI asset, MIDI editor, MIDI interface. MIDI component, probably is this one, MIDI interface component, I don't know. Probably. MIDI interface component. What do you mean add the include? I mean, I didn't change that. MIDI component. MIDI component is defined in MIDI component. MIDI component. Actually, we don't have it here. MIDI component. Mini or MIDI? MIDI. Do you think that I removed it in the refactoring or I mean, that's possible. But do you need to add? No, but wait a second. I don't have to add includes of plugins, no? Because he's doing the job with the targets build, no? Because otherwise I'm missing a million include. I think I never included any MIDI shit. MIDI public, MIDI component. I don't think I included any MIDI. MIDI component. I mean, I never included any of this. MIDI intro. I never included any of this. Because it's including it through the plugin, no? Hello, Dustin, my dudes. I'm pretty sure plugin should be in the target file, but if you're looking for the component specific, you have to include it. At least forward declare. Bro, but this was compiling the other day. I mean, actually yesterday. And also, how do I include it here? I include it with what? Plugins? Doesn't like plugins, so I have to go like this. I have to go where? I have to go in a completely different place. Here we are in bulk object, right? So if I go up one, yeah, if I go up one, I am in plugins. No, but just the path is not working. MIDI component. But okay. I mean, I never included this. I never included this. Why I have to include it now? What happened? I don't think I ever included. Nothing found. Wait. This is all not in my project. This will fail so bad on Linux and on Mac if I do it like this. Because if you don't have absolute path, it's not gonna work. I tell you, I think this thing is not gonna work, I don't know. But let's see. But I don't think I have this, right? I mean, I can compare 2 releases ago. I mean, 2 check-in ago. Right. So I removed some stuff because I did the rework, right, of the header files. The same build failed anyway. No, guys, there is another missing something. I think I didn't close a parenthesis or something because it's impossible. Now he's complaining about this guy, wait. client song manager, which is actually defined in our class. So what is going on? Client song manager. Client song manager in PS game base. I mean, it's true that I did a lot of changes in the header files, but it's true, because I did it, but it was compiling. I ran the game, you know, yesterday. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. What is going on? Client song manager is in client. Okay. Client song manager is in client. This guy wants to include it. Okay. Okay, we can include it. Can include it. Here we are in PS Unreal. Client song. Okay. I mean, what? I mean, what? Why is different today than yesterday? That is fantastic. That is like living on an alternate reality, you know, where things are like organic and changing. No? Or maybe I did. I think the only reason is that I did some changes, right, with Rider, because I was testing the refactoring stuff, and then I didn't really fully recompile for whatever reason, and I checked it in, right? And I checked it in without looking. That's possible. Finish generating code. Why doesn't tell you succeeded? Why there is not a nice message that it succeeded? Okay, so this was needed in PS game instance base that I guess I'm not touching since 10 years. In PS game instance base.h, right? The last change of this file was March 23. Okay. He never complained about Song Manager. Now he's complaining about Song Manager. He never complained in his life about this class, and he always compiled it properly. The last time we changed this file was 2023 in March, right? And yeah. Okay. And this is the change we did now, right? This is the change we did now. Okay. So systems are like, you know, evolving. So is like, I need a new include. Why? Because I forget about that class. Yeah, but it worked until yesterday. Yeah, but I was keeping it in my mind. I don't know, maybe it was inside intermediate in some object files that he was still keeping track of and then he forgot about it. I don't know, I mean, it's so weird. Maybe something, maybe if I open Visual Studio and recompile, it will actually work. Yeah, I want to try that. That happened? Yeah, maybe it's in the intermediate. Now that I deleted intermediate, it's like... No, this guy is not compiling. There's no way. This guy is not compiling. There's no way. I mean, now I remove the MIDI component again, right? But I removed the MIDI component, but it's kind of funny though. I mean, it's really like, what? I mean, I can add MIDI component, but I mean, we use MIDI in so many other places. We don't have any include. Why only in that class, right? Why? Are we compiling the same code base? Well, I really hope so. Did I open the same file or I opened another file? Oh my god. Did I open the same directory or I opened another directory? PS Unreal 511. Yeah, this is the right one. I want to see if Visual Studio is compiling it. I want to see if Visual Studio... Why is compiling so much? They are compiling the same stuff, no? One failed. It's actually the same error. It's actually the same error. Okay, so something changed. Maybe I did a lot of refactoring with Rider, and so maybe, you know, one header file went to another header file, you know, don't know. I don't know, but here we are using MIDI components, so if I only forward declare it, I think it will get very upset with me because I guess we are using it here, right? We are not? Okay, GG. We are not using it. So we have it, but we don't use it. Client side only, user play instrument. On MIDI event. Call by MIDI component. When a MIDI event is broadcasted. Call it by MIDI component. Huh? I mean, this will obviously not work, I guess, but I just want to understand where this thing is referenced. No U property. Yeah, but if there is no U property, it means that we don't need it in the client side, right? It will get garbage collected. No. What do you mean? I mean, until my character leaves, this thing will leave, no? It's building. I mean, it's a variable of my character. What do you mean, no? So it's randomly deleting stuff inside my character that is an actor in the game. So it picks variables at random and just deletes them for the sake of it. Okay. Now, MIDI component is definitely needed. Okay. Is definitely needed. Is definitely needed. So if we is definitely needed. It will be garbage collected. That's a very bad idea. Why is garbage collecting stuff that it should not? Why? Based on what reasoning? Why? What is the... I mean, if I'm using it in my class, he has a reference to my actor. Why is deleting it? You see? I called the garbage collection for another component. We should be destroyed, but actually it's not destroyed. Your object 2 is not set to null pointer when the object is garbage collected because it is not known to the garbage collection. Your pointer will simply keep pointing to where the object was located in memory. This memory location may or may not be inside the process address space. It may either cause the problem behaving and may crash as soon as you can use huh? Bah. Doomed object. They created an object, it's called doomed object. Because the object is going to get destroyed. We didn't mark it as U property, so the collector does not know it is being referenced and will eventually destroy it. I mean, eventually meaning when? Bah. I mean, I can make it a U property, it's no problem, but I'm thinking if I have to make it a U property, then how many others, you know, I have to make a U property? How many are? And only U property or U property something? I mean, how many other U I have? I mean, not too many actually, but I don't understand what is the reasoning. So I mean, I have millions of objects. I mean, all my... Huh? I mean, in our dungeon, we have... everything is a U thingy. Right? So, dungeon room... Okay, these are all U properties, fine, but for example... Yeah, for example this, right? There is an array of dungeon traps. So you mean that at a certain point, Unreal Engine will decide to destroy this? Just because he likes messing up? Assuming that this object is still valid, right? My dungeon room is instantiated, is spawned, is inside the level, and is living there, right? So it's connected to the level and is fully active. You mean that at a certain point this will be destroyed? I mean, it never happened to me. No, because those are all strong by level. Yes, they are also... Yeah, because these ones are also in the level, true. These are also in the level, but... This MIDI component is... Anyway, I can add a property. I don't know even where we create when we create. I mean, I think this guy is created. I don't even know where it's created. I have no idea where it's created, but someone is, I think it's created. It's created here. Register component. Register component within world. Register component within world. I think that, I don't know, maybe it is already, no? It is already doing it. No? But anyway, that's good. I'm just trying to understand which one I need to declare, right? Because there is also, I don't know, audio component, right? This is another audio, but it never happened to me that the game stopped working or it crashed. You know, we have players in the game right now that are running around with this audio component on them, and some of them are playing instruments, and never happened that we crashed for a deleted MIDI component. Pretty strange, my friend. I don't know, but now anyway it is working. So it seems that we were missing some includes. I don't know why, but we were missing some includes. Okay, but my time actually finished, so I need to go. I think it was an okay session. I think that I will park this problem for now. And yeah, I will see if they, let me see if we got the emails back that those email addresses are not valid. No, we didn't. Okay, good. So those email addresses that we send it to are actually valid, because I didn't get back the, you know, the message error, this email doesn't exist. So hopefully they will answer and give us an answer. So for now, if we don't have that, we will go with monsters not moving, or in the generated dungeon, or I will do one more test to enable everything dynamic, right? And I just want to see what happens, right? I say dynamic, then I start my server and I look at how much time it takes to actually start up and how much times it takes for the NPC to actually move, right? We can do the test, but I don't have time to do it now, so will be tomorrow. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow evening, same place, same time. No, same time no, because tomorrow is 9:30 p.m. European time, and we will speak then. So meanwhile, thank you for watching, and yeah, maybe I will do a check in the code if there is any other place where I have these U components like leaving by themselves, but I don't know. I will do that. Bye bye. Bye bye. See you.